today's the day. We're talking about marriage today, so I hope you guys are excited and ready to hear what I got to say. So without further ado, roll the intro. So those of you guys that know me and know my personal life and know that I'm single, you might be thinking to yourself, why are you going to be talking about marriage? I mean, you're not even married. And you're right, I'm not. I don't even have a girlfriend. I mean, that is a goal of mine to eventually be married, Lord willing, but I'm not. But I think that me being single brings a unique perspective, a single perspective, just as a onlooker, I guess you could say, or an observer of people that are married. Experience of people close to me that are married. My parents, my sister and her husband, friends of mine, or even just other people, just married couples in general, like my parents, my sister and her husband, and my friends. So what prompted this topic or idea for this video was a short that I saw on YouTube, and it was by this guy named Nick Freitas. I don't know if I'm saying his last name correctly. I could be completely butchering it, but he was talking about this whole idea of dating and marriage and all of this stuff. So I want to show this to you, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my thoughts on it. So check this out.
So I got married at 19. I'm not telling you to get married at 19. It's just when I got married. But I will tell you this. Just about every person that lectured me and told me I was getting married too young because what I really needed to do was go out there and live it up a little bit and mix it up with some other people before I settled down. Yeah, pretty much all those people are divorced now. And maybe it's because they looked at marriage as the end of the adventure rather than the beginning of it, which I think is pretty stupid. Because when you find someone that you truly love, respect, and are passionate about, and they feel the same way about you, why would you not want to go through life with that person? Why would you not want to share experiences together? Because life's going to throw you a lot of curveballs. You're going to have peaks, you're going to have valleys, and believe me, there's going to be times when it is you and her against the world. And when you come out the other side, you will have a whole new appreciation for what it means to have someone that you truly care about with you through everything. So I'll tell you this much. If you found that person and the only thing that's keeping you from marrying is because some idiot has convinced you need to go first make a bunch of mistakes with other people, yeah, I would go ahead and ditch that advice and put a ring on it.
So what he was saying in that short about if you are only waiting on getting married because you are wanting to date and date and date before you get married so that you can get all this experience, you need to get rid of that notion, get rid of that idea, get rid of that belief, and get married if you have somebody in your life that you love and that truly loves you. And the only thing stopping you is because you're trying to believe this lie of you having to get experience and date and date and date. And I truly believe this because why? Marriage is a beautiful thing. Marriage is actually designed by God. What does it say in Genesis? It says, for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and will be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. Sounds an awful lot like marriage to me. So we hear this lie that gets pushed by people saying that marriage is a man-made institution. And we need to stop that. When we hear that, we need to tell them that that's not true, that's a lie. It's actually God that instituted marriage. And what he put in the parameters of marriage is sex. One of the many perks of marriage, but one of the parameters, or one of the things, gifts, I would say, in marriage is sex. But what we do as human beings is we'll take the sex outside of marriage and we plug it into our dating lives, And so we date all these other people, we sleep with all these other people, we create emotional attachments to all these other people without the commitment, and then we up and leave. And it's toxic, it's destructive, and it's not what God designed. And it's honestly defiling the marriage bed, because sex was designed in the confines of marriage. What does it say in Hebrews? It says to keep the marriage bed undefiled. And so this is what we do when we hop around to different relationships, dating, is we are defiling the marriage bed. And it's a sin. We should not be doing that. So we do this, and then we take this habit and we take this mindset and we plug it into marriage. So we hop into marriage, we think it's just a piece of paper, a binding agreement that we don't even look at and take seriously. And when things change and they give all these excuses, they'll hop out, they'll get divorced, then they hop into another relationship, they get married again, and then that doesn't work out, they get divorced again, they hop into another one. And it's a lot like their dating lives. They just hop from one relationship to the next, but they get married and they get divorced, they get married, they get divorced, and it's toxic. And it's divorce was not even designed by God. He allows it for marital unfaithfulness, but it's not, he did not intend that to be a thing. And I will say, as a disclaimer, that I'm not talking about abuse. So if you are going through some sort of abusive thing in your relationship or marriage, get out, seek some help. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the marital unfaithfulness either, but those are the disclaimers, okay? Those are the parameters really for like divorce. And even with the divorce, that there's also rules that come along with that. Like, you're not supposed to just up and get remarried. There's rules that goes along with it. So if you would like me to cover that in another video, I could definitely do that, but that's a separate topic. So we do this, we hop around to different relationships, so we plug sex into all of this stuff, and then we do that for marriage. And it's just wrong. We take this shopping around mindset, and going with that analogy, I'm going to give you an example. So say for instance you're trying to shop for a full-size pickup truck because you want the versatility, you want the space, you want to be able to tow a trailer, your boat, kayaks, take it on long trips, whatever the case may be. So when you go shopping, are you going to test drive a sedan or SUV? No, you're going to test drive a full-size pickup truck. You're not even going to test drive a mid-size pickup truck, something that might look close but not even match up. You're going to test drive full-size pickup trucks. So there is dating with intention, right? Now, when you're test driving, that's the dating process, the dating phase, right? To figure out what you want. Do you want a Chevy? Do you want a Ram? Do you want a Ford? Do you want a Toyota? Do you want a Nissan? Like, that's dating with intention to figure out what you want, right? But there's a purpose, there's a goal, there's a method there, okay? You're dating with intention to figure out what you want. Now, within this dating, right, there is no sex. There is, you try to figure out the person, talk about what their likes, dislikes are, their values, what they believe, that kind of stuff. The stuff that's important to you, that you're looking for, your parameters, your list that you have, your standards. And it's good to have standards, but you will test drive, and once you figure out what you want, then what? You can't take the truck and start hooking up your stuff to it and start hauling all this stuff, going on long road trips without buying the truck. or leasing it, but I mean, there has to be a contract that is signed, right? You have to sign a contract. You have to say, yes, this is mine. I'm going to do this. I'm going to pay this. Good. It's the same thing. Marriage, there's the contract. You have to agree to the contract. And then once you've signed the contract, you get the truck, you get the keys. They say it's yours. Congratulations. Now you can hook your trailer up. Now you can start hauling things. Now you can go on long road trips. Once you get married, now you get all the benefits. You get a teammate, somebody that's going to help you and grow with you and help push you to be better and towards your goals and grow together. And along with that comes sex. Okay, that is a perk of marriage, but it's within the confines of marriage. So you don't get that until you get married. That is saved for marriage. So we just have to remember this, that the thought, the idea of that it's just a piece of paper, that it's just a contract, I would push back and I would say, no, it is actually a covenant, which is actually deeper and stronger than a contract. Because a contract is a binding agreement, you sign between two parties, okay, whatever, piece of paper. But you can always sign another piece of paper that annuls that. A covenant, on the other hand, is not just a promise, but it's, an agreement that requires a shedding of blood. This is why within the confines of marriage, this is the way it was designed, right? For a man to come together with a woman, right? Intimately in that setting, and she being a virgin, when they first come together that first time and consummate, there is a bleeding that happens, a shedding of blood. It's a covenant. And then you promise before God, that in sickness and in health, for better or for worse, until death do us part. Until death. That's the parameters. Until death separates you. It's not until I fall out of love with them. No. Because if you fell out of love, guess what? You never loved them to begin with. Because what does it say in 1 Corinthians 13? Love never fails. So if you fell out of love, then you never loved them to begin with. And then they'll say stuff like, well, they changed. They're not the same person that I married. Well, of course they changed. They're humans. You grow. You mature. You develop different ideas and different thoughts. You're not even the same person that they probably married back then. You both grow. So you develop new levels of infatuation, attraction, love for this person. Till death. Remember that. It is profound. It is huge. Marriage is not something to enter into lightly. And when we do, we have to know what we're doing. We have to know what we're signing up for. You have to date with intention. So this is why it is important to have standards. This is why it's important to know what you're looking for and to not settle. I've been told this by coworkers before. They're like, Alex, your standards are too high. You need to lower your standards. And I would have to disagree with that. No, my standards are not too high. We're talking about a lifetime here. We're talking about till death. We're talking about forever. It is important that you have your standards in order, what you're looking for. I know this is not common to hear, so this is why I wanted to talk about this. I see this all too often. Too many couples, whether it's celebrities or not celebrities, this happens so much that they get divorced for the wrong reasons because they got married for the wrong reasons. Have standards and do not slip on those standards. Do do not lower those standards. You have to develop the patience, the resistance. Trust me, I know it's tough. I want to be married. I don't want to be single. I want to actually be dating somebody. I want to be dating somebody with the intention of getting married. But alas, here I am. So I just trust that if I keep my standards and I keep looking, Lord willing, I will find somebody. So I thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for listening to my thoughts on this. And if you guys enjoyed this, please comment your thoughts below and let me know. And until next week, you guys stay safe out there, and God bless.